What if we don't want to see any camera movement? Well, there's an easy way to improve this. We can add primary and secondary cameras. And this is two cameras placed side by side that will take it in turns to frame talkers in the room. Let's see an example. In this clip, you've got the primary and the secondary cameras shown on the left and the far end output on the right. And you can see that when somebody speaks who isn't already in shot, we move the currently inactive camera to frame them, and then we switch to that shot. This means the far end never actually sees the camera move because we're always moving the inactive camera and switching to it after it's made the move. So we've learned about secondary cameras. How do we actually implement that inside VisionSuite Designer? Well, I'm back here again with Adam. Adam, you ready to add a secondary camera?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So the good news is this is super easy. In fact, the name is a little bit of a misnomer because it's not really so much that the camera itself has to always be a secondary camera. It's actually just part of the config. When you make that rule where you say the shot that you want to go to, you can have your primary camera and you can have your secondary camera for that rule. So all we need to do in the 3D view is add another camera, and we need to make sure that they are next to each other, ideally. The cameras want to be next to each other because it means that whatever shot is selected, you get basically the same experience, the same view, but you just never see the cameras moving to that position. So all we're going to do is go into our inventory again. We're going to hit the plus button, and we're going to add another camera. Make sure it's the same model of camera, so we don't need to change anything here. And let's call it front camera 2. And it's going to add it to the origin. So again, let's just move it so it's roughly next to our main camera. Don't forget you can use this section on the top right to go to these like field of view presets. Correct it by eye, or you can go to transform, and you've got all of the rotations here. And remember, this is going to get corrected on site. So as long as it's pretty much right, you don't have to worry about all of the specifics there. Okay, Adam, have you got your other camera there?
Yeah. I've just managed to flip mine upside down accidentally, but it's all good now.
How are you finding the process so far? Is it all right?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, so we've got our cameras. Now, the cool thing is that the containers we made, particularly the shot containers, they exist across all your cameras. So if you've made a shot, you don't have to then make that again on another camera because it's kind of assumed that if you want that type of shot on one camera, you might want it on another. Okay, so now all we need to do is go back to our config. So remember, the config is in the room and the room is in the floor. So with that config selected, we're going to head over to the inspector, open up that speaker logic section again, and we can see the two rules, table talking and silence. Let's head into table talking, and now it's going to be really easy to add this other camera. It says at the bottom, if this camera is busy, that's front camera 1, then we want to go to the other camera that we just made. So we select front camera 2, and then for the container, we have the same shot because again, the shots are shared across multiple cameras. And if we read it just like that, we can see that front camera 1 calls its shot, and if that camera is busy, then we use front camera 2. And if you like, you could add a third camera there as well. Now let's head back to our boardroom and see what this looks like in practice. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the boardroom where we've got this primary and secondary camera set up. I'm joined here by Jody and by Jack, and Jack's going to start off by showing us what he's done in VisionSuite Designer.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'd love to run you through kind of VisionSuite Designer and what we can see here. And we're able to see the orbs kind of around our built room where we've got all our furniture positioned. And then on the right-hand side, we've got some rules that will trigger kind of different things and actions within the room. I mean, that's what we're using to ensure that we're not ever seeing any camera movement before the switch happens.
Jack, I haven't seen the rules for. Is this something that you can show us?
Let me just open up speaker logic here. Yeah, that's exactly where we're going to see the magic happening.
Okay, let me try it. So it goes from idle to hold to recalling to live. But what happens if nobody speaks? Oh, nice. So then it goes back to home.
Yeah, no, it does go back to home, and we're not just kind of going to have any old home shot. We're going to be using the NT90 here because it's got a nice and wide field of view. But the NT90 isn't just our pick because it's got a wide field of view. It's also because we're able to use it to fuse vision data and audio data together. And that's exactly why you're never seeing those orbs disappear, and they're always maintaining on my VisionSuite design.
Yeah, and just while Jack's been talking there, I've been taking some notes over here at the whiteboard. Now, normally if you wanted somebody to stand up versus sitting down, you might need a different rule or something like that. But the cool thing about having that NC90 as the conductor camera, and also having the Shure microphone giving us height data, is the system already knows the difference between someone standing and the difference between someone sitting. So we always get the right shot without having to make special standing rules or anything like that.
But I noticed in the James's training video that it was 2 cameras, but there's 4 in here. Why is that?
I've got that one. Yeah, so we have got 4 cameras in here. And the reason that we're doing that is because it allows us not just to have primary and secondary functionality, but also to position the cameras either side of the large format display, ensuring that we're always having front-on shots of our speakers.
Yeah, nice one, guys. Great demo. So that's it with the primary and secondary camera set up in here. We're also going to be talking about presenter tracking in an upcoming section. But you can see here, it doesn't really matter if we have the 1 camera, the 2 cameras, or 4 cameras, or more than that. We can always configure the system to work exactly as we want. So I'll see you on the next one.